Hello, good morning once again. I would like to welcome you to this seminar. I'm very glad that I'm going to be a facilitator, and I expect that we contribute towards the success of this seminar. As earlier introduced, my name is Ashaba Fredrick, teach mathematics. So I'm going to take you through our today's topic, which is quadratic equations. So we are going to begin by understanding what a quadratic equation is, and if I may ask, what do we understand when we are asked what a quadratic equation is? What do we understand by the word quadratic equation? Mutebi? What do you understand? Oh, he has gone off. Okay. Gilbert, what do you understand by the word quadratic equation? Okay, I seem not to be getting an answer. So can I request Gilbert to read for us what is displayed on the screen? Mutebi, you can unmute and read for us. Okay, you can go ahead. Mutebi, can you read for us what is on the screen? Yes, Junior, you can read for us.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to read what is quadratic equation. The name quadratic comes from quad, meaning square, because the variable gets squared like x squared. It is also called an equation of degree 2, open the bracket, because of the power 2 on x. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for reading. So we are beginning by understanding the word quadratic equation. And they're saying that word comes from the word quad, meaning square. So once we have an equation having a variable x, say having a variable x in it, so that equation becomes a quadratic equation. Okay, someone else to read for us. Gilbert, you can now read for us. Mutebi, you can read for us what is displayed on the screen. Okay, Wycliffe, read. Just unmute and read.
Yes.
Okay, Gilbert, unfortunately, we can't hear you. Can we hear from Mutebi? Your hand is up. Okay, Gilbert, it seems your network is not very good, so we can't hear.
Hear me, teacher Ashaba.
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to read the word standard form.
Okay.
The general form of a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0, where a, b, and c are constants and x is the variable.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Mutebi, once we ask you to speak, you're free to unmute and speak. Okay, so we are saying an equation in this form of ax squared plus bx plus c is a quadratic equation. We have already talked about this to power 2. So when we have x to power 2 in our equation, or any variable, so this x can be y, can be any letter, can be any other letter, and then when it is squared, it gives us a quadratic equation. So I'm saying a, b, and c are constants. What do we understand by constants in math? I can hear from you, or you can type in the chat. What do you understand by constants? What do we understand by constants? Any idea? Yes, Junior?
Constant, it means like something which is stable.
Okay, okay.
Which does not change.
Which does not change. Thank you. Any other idea? Okay, I have one in the chat. Values that do not change from Mutebi. Thank you. So what are examples of those values that do not change? So in mathematics, when we talk of the word constants, we mean numbers, like Mutebi has said, because those numbers do not change. So if we, for example, have A equaling to 2, B equaling to 4, C equaling to 8. So all these numbers, we say they are constants because they are not going to change. So if we substituted them in the values where A is, where we have B and C, so we shall have our equation as 2ax squared plus 4x plus 8 equaling to 0. Now, what would happen if we substituted x equaling to 2? So for example, if we have 2x squared plus 4x plus 8, and then we substitute x equaling to 2, what shall we get? So we can do that very fast, and then we send our answers in the chat, or we put up our hands and present them. Let's do that very fast. We substitute 2 in the equation 2x squared plus 4x plus 8. Okay, have one in the chat. In Mbabazi says 24. Okay, let me wait for more answers. Okay, 24. In case you get challenges with substitution, you can raise up your hand and then we see how we can help you. Let me wait for one more to send their answers and then we continue. Wycliffe, what is the value which value are you getting? Okay, Tevi says is also getting 24. So by substitution, we are getting 24. So if we substituted with x equaling to 3, shall we still get the same value? Shall we still get 24? If we substituted x equaling to 3, shall we still get the same answer? Okay, and Mbaba says that would be 32. So the answers would be different. Mutevi says y is 38. I don't know where the difference is coming from. So can try y is 2 times 3 squared plus 4 times 3 plus 8. What is 3 squared? 3 squared?
It is 9.
Is 9. So we have 2 times 9 plus 4 times 3 plus 8. What is 2 times 9? 2 times 9?
18.
18. 4 times 3?
12.
12. And then 8. 18 plus 12? 18 plus 12?
30.
30. 30 plus 8?
38.
I think you've seen where you made a mistake.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when we substitute for x equaling 3, we get 38. When we substitute for x equaling to 2, we get 24. So why we said x is a variable, because as we change the values of x, the answers we get keep on changing. So that is why we say x is a variable. I hope that is understood.
Yes.
Okay, so we can go ahead. So do we now know the meaning of the of a quadratic equation? Do we know the meaning? Okay, so we continue. So here we have some examples of quadratic equations. So the first one, we have 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. So that is our first quadratic equation. If we compared it with the general form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equaling to 0, what would be the value of a, what would be the value of b, and what would be the value of c? By doing a comparison of these two equations, so what would be a, b, and c? You can have your answers in the chat.
A is
Or,
equal to 2.
yes.
B is equal to 5.
Okay, thank you.
C is equal to 3.
C is 3. Thank you very much. Anyone with a different answer? Anyone with a different answer? Okay. If we go to the second one, and we still compare it with ax squared plus bx plus c equaling to 0, what would still be the values of a, the values of b, and the values of c?
A will be equaling to 1.
Yes.
B will be equaling to 3. Then C will be equaling to 0.
Okay. Any other with different answers? Wycliffe, what would be your answers for A, B, and C? Wycliffe? Monique, what would be the values of A, B, and C?
A equals 1.
Yes.
B equals 3. Then C equals 0.
Okay, thank you. So it seems most of us are ignoring this negative here. So if we have ax squared plus bx plus c equaling to 0, and then we have x squared minus 3x plus 0 is equaling to 0, if we would have it in that form. And then we have said a is equal to 1, then this b should take up whatever is here. So our b should be a negative 3. So why on the upper one was the 5 is because this 5 here was positive. So that is why we said b is 5. But if it was negative, then we would have said that b is negative 5. So here we should correct that error and have our b as negative 3. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So now that I've given you 2 examples of the quadratic equation, can each one of you give me at least one? Just take like 1 minute or less than 1 minute. Write one quadratic equation and then you read it for us. Okay, Junior?
Mine is 5x squared plus x plus 2 is equal to 0.
Okay, thank you. Wycliffe? Monique?
So
Yes.
it is 3x squared plus negative 4x equals 0.
Okay, thank you. So instead of saying plus negative 4, so all this can be written as a negative. Okay? Because we say
Okay.
when we get positive, multiply it by negative, this gives us negative. So it is better we write a negative 4.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Wycliffe, we can as well hear from you. I request that either you could change to your names and then we proceed, or you write your other name so that they become 2. Okay, now that we have gone through some examples of a quadratic equation, we are going to go ahead and see how we can deal with them. So our next subheading is how to solve quadratic equations. Can we have one of you to read for us?
How to solve quadratic equations. Solving the quadratic equation involves finding the values of x which satisfy the equation. The following methods are applied when solving quadratic equations. Number 1, factorization. Number 2, completing squares. Number 3, graphical method. Number 4, use of the quadratic formula.
Okay, thank you very much. So like we have seen the examples of quadratic equations, back in our senior 1, senior 2, and those lower classes, if we had an equation like 2x plus 4 equaling to 0, we would solve this and find the value of x. Isn't it so? And by now, I hope we can easily solve this equation. So who can take us through the steps of solving 2x plus 4 equaling to 0? Okay, Wycliffe. You can unmute and speak.
Yes, sir. Can I take it too?
Okay, okay. As we wait for Wycliffe to unmute as well.
2x plus 4 is equal to 0. We are going to get 2x plus 4 minus 4 is equal to 0 minus 4. We are going to get 2x is equal to negative 4. Is equal to negative 4. We are going to divide 2x by 2, negative 4 by 2. And our x will be negative 2.
Okay, thank you. Wycliffe, I saw some answer in the chat. Monique says x is 2. I think
Teacher Ashaba.
Yes, please.
Sorry to distract you. I wanted to tell Wycliffe, try to unmute and speak. And if it fails, I've been sending you like a question asking you to unmute. So you accept and then you unmute and you speak. I don't know if it's clear for Wycliffe. Wycliffe, on your screen, can you see a notification asking you to unmute? If you want to speak, you click yes if it has failed to unmute directly. If you can see that notification asking you to unmute, click yes, then it will unmute.
Okay, thank you. So like we have seen, we can solve this equation and easily find the value of x. We are going to also do the same for our quadratic equations using these 4 methods. But for today, we are going to focus on factorization, completing squares, and use of a quadratic formula. So this type of equation we have solved is called a linear equation. So those ones are easy to deal with because they only contain one variable, which is, okay, they only contain x, which is not squared. So it becomes easier for us to deal with it. But for a quadratic equation, because it has x to power 2, y to power 2, z to power 2, so it becomes a bit unfriendly to some extent to solve. But we are going to, by the end of this session, to know how to solve those equations. So we can go ahead to factorization. So we are going to begin by our subheading is solving quadratic equations by factorization. So I'm saying factorize the expression k squared plus 10k plus 24, and hence solve for k squared plus 10k plus 24 equaling to 0. Anyone with an idea of how we solve, of how we factorize k squared plus 10k plus 24, you can raise up your hand and we give you opportunity to share with us.
I think, so here we are going to use the method called bulldozer to find our K.
To find the k? Okay, thank
Yes.
you. The bulldozer method, we are not going to apply it since they are saying we do what? We factorize. So we are going to look at the bulldozer method in some few minutes to come. Yes, Wycliffe? Wycliffe, please unmute and speak. Okay, if you can't speak, maybe you could type in the chat. I'll be able to read what you'll type. Okay. As we wait for Wycliffe to send his answers in the chat, we can be sharing. What do you think we are going to do to factorize 10kx squared plus 10k plus 24? So what we are basically going to do we have this 24 and we have the 10. So we are going to get two numbers. Okay, we are going to get two numbers that when those two numbers are added, they give us 10. So their product should be 10. And when we add them, no, their product should be 24. And when we add them, they give us 10. So we're going to look for two numbers that when we add them, they give us 10. And when we multiply them, they give us 24. So what could those numbers be? Just give it some little time and we think about them. We need two numbers that when we add them, they give us 10. And when we multiply them, they give us 24. Maybe let me make it a bit simpler. We get factors of 24.
Master, let me try.
Okay.
For example, here we are going to first look for the factors of 24.
Yes.
After 24, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. Then in our factors, we are going to look the factors that when we add them for two numbers, when we add those two numbers, we are going to get 10.
Yes.
So I have here 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. When I get 4 times 6, I'm going to get 24. I think that is it. 6 and 4.
So the numbers are 6 and 4. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Anyone with a different answer, different idea? Okay, now after we have got those two numbers, so we are going to come back and write our equation. So we have k squared plus 10k plus 24. So instead of writing 10k, we are going to split it into 6 and 4. So how shall we then write it? I'm saying instead of 10k, we are going to write the 10. We are going to split the 10 and have it written in terms of 4 and 6. So how are we going to write it? What will be our next step?
I think we are going to get k squared plus 4 plus 6 in bracket,
Yes.
then k plus 24.
Okay. So which step would come next? So what we are going to do next is we are going to have this as k squared, then 4 times k. What is 4 times k?
4k.
Okay. 6 times k.
6k.
Then plus 24. Monique, are we there? So you can send a yes or a no if you are okay. So for if you
Yes,
want us
I'm
to,
there.
you're there, okay. Wycliffe, are you with us? You can just type in the chat. Okay, so okay, Wycliffe is also okay with us. So we are going now to have this grouped in pairs. So we're going to create 2 pairs. Can we have someone to tell us what those pairs are going to be? So we're going to group them into two pairs.
So, what are we going to pair?
Yes, come again.
What are we going to pair?
This equation here. This last step, we want to create 2 pairs.
Okay, let me try.
Okay.
K squared plus 4k is equal to 24.
Not is
Then
equal.
K,
Not is equal.
sorry?
Just create a pair. Have 2 things.
Okay. Let me first think about it.
Okay. Monique.
So, we are going to get k into 4 plus 6.
K into 4 plus 6.
Then k into 4 plus 6 equals 24.
Wow. Good try. Wycliffe. So by what I'm meaning by a pair is that we are going to group k squared plus 4k. And we have this as a pair. So we put it in brackets. Then we again open another bracket and have 6k plus 24. Are you now understanding what I meant by us pairing?
Yes.
Okay. So when we pair, we are going to choose what we call a common factor. Do you know what a common factor is? What we mean by a common factor?
Yes, sir.
What
The
is
common
it?
factor
Yes.
will be k.
In the first pair.
Yes.
Okay. So when we get a common factor, so we get a number that we can divide by k squared and 4k, number that is divisible by those 2 numbers. So we're saying that is k. So when we identify a common factor, we pull it outside the bracket. So we take it outside. So when we pull a k outside, what remains on k squared? What do we remain with?
What remains inside will be k plus 4.
Okay, k plus 4. What would be the common factor in the second bracket?
The common factor in the second bracket is 6.
6. Okay, Mutebi also says 6 in the chat. So when we take 6 outside, what remains inside the bracket?
What remains inside the bracket is K plus 4.
Oh. Are you seeing something similar still in the expression we have formed?
Yes.
What do you see?
What is similar is that in both pairs, we are having K plus 4.
Okay, thank you. Junior, are you able to see something similar?
Yes.
What are you seeing?
What I'm saying, in our first bracket, we have 4, and another second bracket, we have also 4.
Okay. So the K plus 4 also becomes a common factor. Okay? Since in both we can divide by K plus 4. So we are going to write K plus 4. And then open brackets and write this K plus the 6. Are we okay to that step?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when we arrive here, we would have now simplified our equation of k squared plus 10k plus 24 equaling to 0. So it is now in a simplified form, and hence we have factorized.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Then after doing that, we are going to go to the hence part. Hence sort of 4k squared plus 10k plus 24 equaling to a 0. So we are going to write our equation k squared plus 10k plus 24 equaling to 0. But we have now simplified the k squared plus 10k plus 24 to k plus 4, then k plus 6. And we equate this to 0. Are we there?
Yes.
Yes.
So after that, we are going to say either the first bracket is equal to 0 or the second bracket is equal to 0. And then we find the values of k. So we are going to say either k plus 4 is equal to 0. And what would be the value of k?
-4.
-4. So this would move to the right hand side and it becomes a negative. So we shall have -4. Do we need to write something down before I wrap?
I'm done writing.
You're done writing? Monique?
Yes, please. I've made a screenshot.
Okay, good. That space is enough. So I'm going to say or k plus 6 is equal to 0. And what would be our k?
Will be negative 6.
Would be negative 6. And then we conclude and say our k is negative 4 or k is negative 6. And if we substituted either of these values in this equation into k squared plus 10k plus 24, we would get a 0. But for now, we are not going into that. Any question before we move on?
No.
I think this one we are going to take some little time on it. So I'm going to factorize x squared plus 2x minus 8. So what shall be those factors of 8 that we can add to give us 2? Factors of 8 that we can add to give us 2. So we can begin by listing the factors of 8. Monique, can you list for us the factors of 8?
The factors of 8, we have 1, 2, 4, and 8.
8. So we are going to get two numbers that when we multiply them, they give us negative 8. We are going to choose from this. And when we add them, they give us a 2. So what will those numbers be?
We have negative 2 and positive 4.
Negative 2, positive 4. So those will be our numbers. Anyone with different answer? Anyone with a different answer? Okay. So we said where we now have a 2x, we write it, we substitute it with the negative 2 and 4. So how shall we write it? Any idea?
Yes,
Okay, go ahead.
we shall have x squared plus, it will be x squared minus 2 plus 4
We can make it 2x plus 4x. Okay.
minus 8.
That's 8.
Yes.
Thank you. Mariam, you're welcome. So after here, we said we group, so we shall create two pairs, x squared minus 2x, then plus 4x minus 8. What will be the common factor in the first bracket?
It will be x.
It will be x. Thank you. So we have x outside. What remains inside?
It is x minus 2.
X minus 2. Thank you. What will be the common factor in the second bracket?
It is 2.
2. Okay. Okay, thank you. What else? What else? Because 2 will not give us an answer.
It will be 2x. It will be 2x
It will be 2x
minus 2.
minus 2.
Yes.
When we put out a 2.
Yes.
Now these ones still have a common factor.
Oh, sorry. Minus 4.
Okay, minus 4.
Because when you get 2 times negative 4, we are
Yes.
going to get negative 8.
Thank you. What I'm trying to mean is that the 2x minus 4 can still be simplified because they have a number that can divide both of them.
It is 4.
4. Thank you. So 4, what remains inside?
X minus 2.
X minus 2. So we have our x minus 2 appearing 2 times. So what do we do?
We shall have x plus 4 in brackets, then brackets x minus 2.
And then this would be now in a simplified form, and it is now factorized. So what we are going to do is now to go to the other part. Of hence. So x squared plus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. So I've said this is x plus 4 into x minus 2 is equal to 0. So what steps do we add to get the values of x?
The first value of x will be x plus 4 equals 0. Then we make 4 cross the equal signs, giving us x equaling to negative 4.
Thank you. What would be the other side?
It will be x equals to negative.
Okay, x minus 2 equals to 0.
Then x equals positive 2.
Then we can conclude and say our x values are 2 or x is negative 4. Good. So I hope we are getting something good from this session.
Yes.
Okay, can we proceed?
Yes, we can.
So we are now requested to solve the value of x in the equation 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 is equaling to 0. Are you seeing the difference between this equation and the previous equations? Are you seeing any difference between them?
Yes.
Where is the difference?
The previous one, it was not equating to 0 when we are starting, but
Okay.
this is equating to 0.
Okay, thank you. Which other difference are we able to see?
Another thing here, they didn't tell us to factorize. They've just told us to solve for the value of x.
Okay,
So
thank
I
you.
think any method we use here, it will be applied. I think it will be applied in case of anything.
Okay. So which method do you suggest we should use?
I think bulldozer.
Bulldozer. Thank you.
Yeah, it might be the quickest.
Might be the quickest. Okay. So we are going to use the bulldozer, and then we shall as well see how to solve that equation using factorization. So the bulldozer, who can state for us the formula? Formula for bulldozer, or what we call the quadratic formula.
Bulldozer is equal.
Okay, x is equal to
A positive. There is a positive and the down. There is a positive and down there is a negative.
Yes.
Then b a square root.
Square root.
Yes. Minus 4 AC out of 2A. That's what I know.
Okay, thank you. Any different answer? Mariam? Do you have something different from this? Okay, let me modify it to make it the right one. So you only forgot one thing. We are supposed to have negative b first, then plus or minus root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So it is only the negative b that you were missing. So from our equation, 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 equaling to 0, if compared with ax squared plus bx plus c equaling to 0, what would be the a value, what would be the b value, and what would be the c value?
A is going to be 2.
Yes.
B is going to be 5.
Yes.
Then C is going to be 3.
C is going to be 3. Thank you.
Yes.
So we are now going to substitute in the formula. X would be negative B. So this would be negative 5 plus or minus root of B squared. No. What is our B?
Our B is going to be 10.
Now here we say 5 squared minus 4 times A, which is
A
2,
is 2
times C,
times 3. Out of times 2.
What is 5 squared?
25.
25. What is 4 times 2?
That is 8.
Times 3?
8 times 3. That is 24.
Then we divide this by 2 times 2.
4.
What is 25 minus 24?
1.
1. What is the square root of 1?
I think it is 1.
It is 1 divided by 4.
4.
So because we have 2 signs here, we are going to take first the positive and then next the negative.
Yes.
So what shall it be?
It's going to be X is equal negative 5 plus 1 out of 4. It is going to be X is equal to 4 out of 4.
4 out of 4?
Yes.
Negative, what is negative 5 plus 1?
It is 4.
It is negative 4.
Okay, thank you. Is negative 4. So negative 4 divided by 4.
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Thank you. So our X is going to be negative 1.
1.
Or what would be the other value?
I'm going to get X is equal to negative 5 minus 1 out of 4.
What is negative 5 minus 1?
Negative 6.
Can we simplify negative 6 divided by 4?
We shall have -3 divided by 2.
-3 divided by 2. Thank you. Or that can be written as -1.5. Okay, so that is how we use the bulldozer method to solve quadratic equations. So I think we can just take screenshots for those who can, and then we see how we can use factorization as well. Because in the first examples, we did this side here of squared, we only had x squared. We didn't have a coefficient like we have it now. So we want as well to see how we can deal with the quadratic equation that has a coefficient of x which is greater than 1. So can we proceed? Isingoma, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So when we are using factorization to deal with this equation, so we can begin by writing it: 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. So want to specifically use factorization, supposing they had instructed us to factorize, how we would have dealt with it. Any idea of what we could do in case we were told to factorize?
Yeah, we are going to have a product and a sum.
Product and sum.
We are going to look the factors of 5.
You can continue, please.
We are going to look at the product of 5, the factors of 5. We are going to see when we get so let me first calculate it down.
Okay, thank you. And any other idea from other members?
We shall list the factors of 3. And then in those, we find 2 numbers that when we add them, they give us 5, and when we multiply them, they give us +3.
Thank you. Singoma, do you have something to say?
Master, you don't have anything to say.
Okay. So in this equation, when we find we have a coefficient of x squared, what we do, we first multiply these 2. So we get 3 times 2 times 3. In other words, we first multiply a times c. And what would that give us? 2 times 3?
It will give us 6.
6. Now, it is now this 6 So we are going to get factors of 6. And from those factors, we get two numbers that when we multiply them, they give us 6. And when we add them, they give us 5.
So
So first of all, what are those
the
factors?
factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, 6. And the two numbers are 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Thank you. So now, how shall we write our equation? How shall we write our equation? Okay. So we are going to just where there is 5x is what we change to be in terms of 2 and 3. So we shall say this would be 2x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6 is equal to 0. Are we there? So we are only
Yes, sir.
substituting for 5, and we write it in terms of 2x plus 3x. Now, after this step, then we group we have two pairs of from this step. So what would those pairs be?
Yes.
The first pair will be 2x squared plus 2x, and the second pair will be 3x plus 6.
So after identifying those pairs, then we are going to obtain a common factor in the first bracket and a common factor in the second bracket. So what would be the common factor in the first bracket?
It's going to be 2. It is going to be x.
Okay.
Open the brackets. 2x. It is going to be 2x plus 2.
Okay.
Plus
Okay. Plus common
plus
factor in the second bracket.
it's going to be x 3 x plus 2x
Plus 2x. Now when you get 6 divided by this 3.
You get 2.
2. Okay. Monique.
So I think the first bracket, the common factor is 2 into x plus 1.
Then this other one is okay. Okay, thank you for trying. Now, if I begin from x into 2x plus 2, okay? So you identified one common factor, and yet they were supposed to be 2. So we still have another one. So we still have this 2 and this 2. So we can divide each of them by 2. Okay? So we can still pull out a 2, multiply it by x, and what will it become?
2x.
X. And then what remains when we take away another the 2? Yes, Monique. Okay, I think we made a mistake somewhere. We made a mistake. So we had 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. So we made a mistake and went on with 6 here, but it was supposed to be 3. So this is 2x plus 2x plus 3x plus 3 equaling to 0. Then we do the grouping. So we were still on this. We had said 2x is the common factor. So what remains inside the bracket? What remains inside when we pull out a 2x?
It is x plus 1.
X plus 1. Thank you. Then the common factor in the second bracket is?
It is 3.
Then what remains inside?
X plus 1.
X plus 1. Thank you. So we shall have here 2x plus 3 into x plus 1 equaling to 0. And then this would be the normal. So we say either 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. 2x becomes negative 3. And then we divide both sides by 2. Or here you can say 1.5. But if you decide to write 3 over 2, you just write 3 over 2. Or negative 1.5. Or x is equal to x plus 1 is equal to 0. And then x would be negative 1. Any questions? So because of time, we have not been able to cover all that we had intended to cover, especially the completing squares. But when an opportunity comes again, we shall do so. Otherwise, thank you for attending today's session. and for honoring our invitation to this seminar. May God bless
Thank
you.
you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Teacher Ashaba, for that wonderful session. It has really been insightful, and I believe all the learners that have been present have been able to benefit, even those who have been following the session live on YouTube. So, dear learners, we usually have these seminars every Saturday. We shall be sharing the recording for this seminar on your emails. And then those that have not yet joined the WhatsApp group, we shall also attach the link to join the WhatsApp group where we usually communicate this information. So feel free to join. Yaka Digital Network is an online learning platform that has online studies from pre-primary to secondary. Then we also have notes. So if you want notes for any subject, you can also get it from our site or even contact us at just a fee of 10,000. So with that, I would like to thank you so much for actively participating. Thank you, Junior. Thank you, Monique, for your active participation. And I hope you have really benefited from the seminar. We shall have our next seminar next Saturday, and we shall be communicating by tomorrow. So thank you so much. I wish you a lovely day.
Lovely day too.
In case you have any questions, maybe about Yaka or about anything, you can still ask before we end the call. If there is none, see you next Saturday. And we also encourage you to tell a friend about these seminars such that they also benefit. Haman, did you stop the live stream?
As if it is still on.
Okay. Haman, how do I stop the live stream? I can't see it. Should I make you host?